How's it going, guys? It's Kyle, or the How To Guy 123 here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you the basics of imaging a hard drive or SSD with a free and open source software called Clonezilla. First, we need to create a Clonezilla bootable USB. I'll leave a link to the Clonezilla website in the description below, where we'll also be able to download it. Once on the page, click download in the menu on the left hand side of the screen, then click on Alternative Stable. Once on the download page, just make sure that the file type is set to ISO, then click the download button. You'll be redirected to SourceForge, and the download for Clonezilla should automatically begin. I'm going to save Clonezilla to my desktop for easy access. The Clonezilla ISO file is 461 megabytes in size. Now that we have the Clonezilla ISO file downloaded, we'll need to download Rufus to put the ISO image on a USB and make it bootable. I'll also leave a link to download Rufus in the description below. Once on the website for Rufus, scroll down to where it says download and click on the latest version of Rufus to download it. In this case, I'm going to save Rufus to my desktop. Rufus is less than 2 megabytes, so it shouldn't take any time to download. Once Rufus is downloaded, plug in the USB to your computer that you'd like to put Clonezilla on. This USB needs to be at least 1 GB in size. Also, make sure that you have all the files on the USB backed up, as they will be deleted when we create the bootable USB. Once you've plugged in your USB, open up Rufus. Make sure that your USB is selected under Device. After that, click on the Select button and choose the Clonezilla ISO file that we downloaded earlier. Other than that, we can leave all of the other settings default and click on the Start button to create our Clonezilla bootable USB. When asked, choose to write the image in ISO mode. Also, if you get a pop-up that says download required, just click yes. Then click on OK on the data loss warning. Rufus should only take a few minutes to create the bootable USB. Now that we've created our Clonezilla live bootable USB, it's time to image our drive. The nice thing about Clonezilla is that it can clone a variety of different operating systems, meaning that you can clone both Windows and Linux OSs. In this video, I'm going to image a Windows 11 OS that has all the software that I use to record and make videos installed on it, so that I can easily deploy it on multiple computers. First, let's boot to the Clonezilla live USB. Go ahead and plug the USB into the computer you want to image. Restart your computer, and before the computer boots into any operating system, open up the boot menu. The process of opening the boot menu can vary between computers, but for my computer, I just need to press the F8 button on my keyboard before booting into Windows. I can then use the arrow keys and the enter button to select my USB. When your computer first boots to the Clonezilla live USB, you'll be presented with a menu where you can choose to boot Clonezilla with different options. For most cases, booting to the first option of Clonezilla Live with a resolution of 800 by 600 is fine, but you could also choose the second option if you want to load the program entirely to RAM, meaning that you can unplug the Clonezilla Live USB once Clonezilla is running. But in this case, I'm going to boot to the first option. Next, you'll be prompted to choose a language and keyboard layout. Use the up and down arrow keys to navigate the menu within Clonezilla, then press enter to make a selection. Next, press enter on Start Clonezilla. The next menu asks us what we'd like Clonezilla to do. The device to image option is for creating an image for a disk or partition. The device to device option will allow you to copy or clone one disk in your computer to another. This can be useful if you want to upgrade from a hard drive to an SSD and want to clone your existing Windows install. But in this tutorial, I want to create an image of Windows 11 that's installed to my SSD, so I will select Device to Image. Next, we are going to choose whether we want to save our image on a local device like a hard drive or USB, or to a network location like an SSH or Samba server. I'm going to keep this tutorial simple, and I'm going to save my image to an external USB hard drive, so I'll choose the local_dev option. At the bottom of the screen, you'll be prompted to plug in a USB device if you'd like to save your image to a USB flash drive or external hard drive. Since I want to save my image to an external hard drive, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Once your USB or external hard drive is plugged into your computer, press enter, and then you'll see a list of all the storage devices connected to your computer. Make sure that the device you want to image and the device you want to save your image to both appear in this list. As you can see on my screen, Clonezilla recognizes my crucial 240GB SSD, which has Windows installed to it, along with my Seagate FreeAgent GoFlex 500GB external hard drive, which is where I want to save my image to. Press Ctrl C on your keyboard to exit this window. You'll then be asked where you would like to save your image and be given a list of all the partitions from each drive connected to your computer. As I previously mentioned, I want to save the image to my external hard drive, which is the FreeAgent GoFlex. Clonezilla is reading this drive as SDC, and there are two partitions on my external hard drive. The first partition is a 16MB Windows System Reserved partition, which we can ignore, and the second partition is the main NTFS partition, which contains all the files on my external hard drive with a size of 465GB. This is where I want to save my image, so I'm going to press enter to select it. Next, you'll be prompted if you'd like to check and repair the file system of the drive in which you're saving the image to. This only works on file systems compatible with Linux and not Windows file systems like NTFS. The file system check will also add additional time to the imaging process, so I'm going to skip it. After that, you can choose which directory you'd like to save the image to. I have a folder on my external hard drive called Clonezilla_images, so I'm going to use the up and down arrow keys on my keyboard to navigate the list and the enter key to open it. Keep pressing the tab key on your keyboard until the cursor reaches done, then press enter to confirm the folder. Press enter again to confirm the folder where your image is going to be saved. You'll then be asked if you want to run Clonezilla in beginner or expert mode. For this tutorial, I will choose beginner mode. Next, choose if you want to image the entire disk or just certain partitions. For this tutorial, I'm going to image my entire SSD with all of its partitions, so I'm going to press enter on save disk. Now give your image a name. I'm going to call my image the howtoguy123 _ Windows 11 _ record ready. Make sure that your image name does not contain spaces. Press enter once you've inputted your image name. Afterwards, we can choose the disk that you want to image. Use the arrow keys to navigate the list of drives if you have more than one to choose from, and use the spacebar to select the drive. An asterisk beside the drive marks the disk that you have selected. So in my case, I only have my crucial 240GB SSD available to image. Press tab and then press enter on OK to confirm your selection. Once you've selected the disk that you want to image, you can choose a compression option. For most cases, the Z1P option is fine. Next, you'll be asked if you want to check and repair the file system of the disk that you are imaging. As like before, this does not work on Windows NTFS file systems like the one I'm imaging, so I'm going to skip it. After that, you can choose if you want to check the saved image. This makes sure that the data from your drive was saved correctly in the image and that it's not corrupted. So when the image is restored, all the data will be transferred correctly and nothing will be missing. This will also prevent errors from occurring during the restore process. I always recommend checking the image, so I'll press enter on yes. You can also encrypt the image if you'd like. I'm not going to encrypt my image in this tutorial. And the last thing we need to set is what we'd like Clonezilla to do when it's done imaging. This is mostly up to you. You can choose to shut down or restart the computer when imaging is complete, or choose what to do after the image is created. I like to choose after the imaging process is complete, just to make sure that the image was created successfully, and so that I can review any information that's on the screen. You'll then be asked to press enter on your keyboard to continue. Then enter Y to confirm that you want to start imaging. And Clonezilla is now imaging my SSD. You'll see the progress bar go to 100% a few times if you have more than one partition. Most Windows installations have several partitions, such as the boot or recovery partition, along with the partition that contains your OS and all of its data. The larger your drive and the more data you have, the longer the imaging process will take. Clonezilla has finished creating our image. On the output, you can see it says all the images of partition or LB device in this image were checked and they are restorable, alongside my image name. This means that the image was created successfully and has been checked, so we won't run into any issues when we try to restore it. Next, press the enter key to continue. We can now choose what we want our computer to do now that Clonezilla is done imaging. I'm going to choose to reboot and boot back into Windows. If we take a look at my external hard drive and open up the Clonezilla_images folder, you'll see a folder called the howtoguy123_Windows 11_record ready, and this folder is the image we just created. Now I'll show you how to restore an image to a hard drive or SSD with Clonezilla. I've went ahead and installed Windows 10 onto my SSD, but now I'd like to restore the Windows 11 image that we created at the beginning of this video onto my drive. So I'm going to boot back into my Clonezilla live USB just like before. Once again, choose your language, keyboard layout, and then press enter on Start Clonezilla. The next menu will ask us what we want to do with Clonezilla. Since we're still working with images, we're going to want to choose Device to Image. After that, we will choose where our image is going to be read from. Since my image is saved on an external hard drive, I'm going to choose local_dev. At the bottom of the screen, you'll be prompted to plug in a USB device that contains your image. So go ahead and do so if you haven't already, and if your image is stored on a USB. Then press enter. You'll then see a list of all the storage devices connected to your computer. Make sure that the device you want to restore the image to and the device where your image is located both appear in this list. As you can see on my screen, Clonezilla recognizes my crucial 240GB SSD, which is the device I want to restore my image to, along with my Seagate FreeAgent GoFlex 500GB external hard drive, which is where my image is saved. Press Ctrl C on your keyboard to exit this window. Next, we are presented with a list of all the partitions from all the drives connected with our computer. We want to select the partition that contains our image. My image is on the 465GB partition of my FreeAgent GoFlex, so I'm going to use the arrow keys to navigate the list, and then press enter to select it. You'll then be asked if you would like to check and repair the file system of the disk where your image is saved. As like before, this does not work for Windows NTFS file systems, so I'm going to skip it. Now we will choose the directory where our image is saved to. My image is saved in the directory called Clonezilla_images. I'm going to use the up and down arrow keys on my keyboard to navigate the list, then press the enter key to open it. Any directory that is tagged with CZ_image is a Clonezilla image. On my screen, you can see the Windows 11 image we created at the beginning of this video. Just press tab twice on your keyboard, then hit the enter key on done to select the directory in which your image is actually saved to. Press enter again to confirm the directory where your image is located. You'll then be asked if you want to run Clonezilla in beginner or expert mode. For this tutorial, I will choose beginner mode once again. Afterwards, choose restore disk in order to restore an image to your drive. You could also choose restore parts to restore a specific partition on your drive, but in this tutorial, I want to restore the entire disk. Once you've chosen restore disk, you'll be presented with a list of all the images saved on your external hard drive or whatever device you have chosen for your Clonezilla image repository. In my case, I only have one image on my external hard drive, which is the Windows 11 image that we created at the beginning of this video, so I'm going to select it. Next, we are going to choose the target disk where our image is going to be restored to. In my case, I only have a single drive, which is my crucial SSD. Keep in mind that all the data will be erased on this disk when the image is restored, so make sure you have a backup of any important data before continuing. So I'm going to press enter to select it. You'll then be asked how Clonezilla should handle the partition table during the restore process. K0 will clone the exact partition table from the image, maintaining the same partition sizes and positions as on the original disk. K1 will create a new partition table on the destination disk, adjusting the partition size proportionally based on the available space while maintaining the same partition layout. K0 should be fine for most situations, and it's what I'm going to choose in this tutorial. K1 is meant if you are restoring the image to a larger drive than the one that was captured in the image. In that case, if you were to choose K0, the partitions may not take up the full available space on the disk. However, the partition sizes can be easily adjusted later in disk management within Windows after the restore is complete. Now you have the option if you want to check the saved image. This confirms the image's integrity and that it's not been corrupted before you've begun to restore. So when the image is restored, all the data will be transferred correctly. If you were to restore a corrupted image, you could run into errors during the restore process or experience data loss. Checking the image will add time to the restore process. In my case, I'm going to check the image. Finally, the last thing we need to do is set what we'd like Clonezilla to do when it's done restoring. As like before, I'm going to choose after restoring is complete, just to make sure that the image was restored successfully. You'll then be asked to press enter on your keyboard to continue. Clonezilla will then begin to check the image. This process can take some time depending on how large your image is. Clonezilla is now done checking my image, and you can see that it was successful. You'll then need to enter Y to continue onto the restore. Clonezilla will then prompt you a second time just to confirm that you want to restore the image onto your drive. Once you've confirmed, Clonezilla will begin to restore. The restore process is now complete. I'm going to press enter to continue, then reboot my computer and try and boot into our restored Windows 11. And there we go. I successfully restored Windows 11, and all of my programs, data, settings, etc. are exactly the same as when I created the image. And that brings us to the end of the tutorial. If this video helped, please leave a like. If it didn't, leave a dislike. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to help you guys out. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.